Chapter 26. One Part of the World. That night, Luca burnt the garlic bread he'd made to go with the spaghetti bolognese, and then he burned his wrist trying to yank the tray out of the oven. He got frustrated by Sam's math homework because the long division was different from the way he was taught in school, and he got a phone call after dinner asking him if he could volunteer at the Safe Haven that weekend. And then right before bed, Sam's dad called and asked to speak to him, but Sam shook his head and refused to take the phone. So Luca had to apologise and say he could try again tomorrow. "It's been a long day, Fredo," Luca said when he came into my room that night and pretended to collapse face down on my bed. I swiveled around from my desk and put down the book I was reading for school. I still felt heavy and tired after today, the same as Luca looked, but for a little while at least, the story was taking my mind off everything. It was Playing Beatty Bow by Ruth Park, and I liked it a lot. It was about a girl who lives in Sydney and time travels back to the olden days, before the harbour bridge was even built. The girl was so far from home, yet she was still right there, even though nothing looked the same and everything was changed. I thought I knew how she felt, having her world turned upside down and inside out like that. And I was thinking of asking Mr. Curry if I could show a map of the two Sydneys that Abigail sees, from long ago and during her time, as part of my report instead of doing another boring plot summary. Lucas sighed as he turned himself right side up and arranged my pillows behind his back. "I've been very lucky to have your pop around all these years, Fredo. I didn't realise how much until today." He gave me a weary smile. "Your taking Sam to see Annika was a really big help, though. Have I thanked you for that already?" I rolled my eyes, but smiled anyway. "About 1,000,000 times. Well, I mean it. You think you'll be okay to keep taking him over the holidays?" I nodded, and then spun full circle in the swivel chair. When I came back to face Luca, I said, "She's sharing a room with one of them, a woman from the Safe Haven." "Ah, I wondered if she'd mentioned that." "I didn't think about it," I said. Luca raised a questioning eyebrow, and I explained that people would still have babies and things, even when there's a war on. I didn't think any of the refugees would be in hospital because of that. Luca nodded. "The world doesn't really stop just because there's tragedy happening in one part of it." "Do you know who she is?" Luca shook his head, so I said, "She was crying when we went there today, and Annika said she was last night too." "Annika told me the same thing." I sighed. "I wonder if she was all alone, or if it's just her and the baby." Then Luca was pushing himself off my bed and running his hands all over his face, like he could wipe the tiredness away. He came over to me and bent down to kiss my forehead. When he straightened, he said, "You and Annika have a lot in common, you know that?" "How?" "She wanted the same thing and asked me to see what I could find out." "Did you?" He nodded. "It's just her. She didn't come over with any other relatives." Luca headed for my door but turned back to add, "Her baby's due in November, so she might be there a while."